Understanding growth stocks is very essential if you're going to be investing in the stock market. I brought over a good friend from the Adventuresandus Channel, Kevin and Eliza. They are very knowledgeable about the stock market. They are also very passionate about the FIRE movement journey. After this video ends, I will be talking about dividend investing on Kevin's channel, so be sure to head over to his channel after this video ends, and then you can learn a little bit more about dividend investing as well as the FIRE movement journey. So thanks, Kevin, for coming on the channel, and I will see you guys back in a little bit.
Hey Mike, thanks for having me on the channel. To dive right into it, this is the chart of the S&P 500. I also gave it some friends, the VUG or the Vanguard Growth ETF, and the VYM, or the Vanguard Dividends ETF. This blue line there outperforming all of them, that's the growth stock index. Pretty sweet. This orange line is the benchmark everybody's trying to beat, which is the S&P 500, and that green line, well, that's the Dividends ETF. During these times of economic booms, growth stocks tend to do very well. More resources and cheaper money due to rate cuts really help boost these growth stocks. Now, I'm not saying that growth stocks are the end-all be-all and they're better than dividends. All I'm saying is that growth stocks have their time and place, and let's figure out when they are. Now, first off, what's in the growth stock ETF? Well, they aren't just IPOs or small cap stocks. In fact, these are the top 10 holdings. You'll recognize some of the names like Facebook, Google, and Visa, perhaps. Now, the thing to note here is stocks tend to be more expensive, because investors are expecting higher returns in sales or profits from these growth stocks in the future. And because of that, it causes the price of the stock to be more expensive. Thus, it could be a little bit more risky. Risky because if growth doesn't go according to plan, the price of this stock will for sure plummet. Anyways, what's a growth stock though? A growth stock is usually anticipated to grow at a rate higher than the average market. These stocks don't pay dividends. How selfish. But they don't, because they need to invest those profits back into themselves to continue innovating and creating better technologies against their competitors. The only way to make money through growth stocks is capital appreciation or selling the stock. These growth companies tend to have unique product lines. They tend to hold patents or have access to better competing technologies. This comes as a double-edged sword since in order to stay ahead of the company, they have to continue to innovate. And in order to do so, they need that capital, those dividend capitals. A few benefits of growth stocks is that they have an accelerated growth potential, which can be used to compound at a very fast rate. Think Facebook, Amazon, and Apple. Although you can argue that Apple's starting to become a value stock with some dividends. These stocks tend to do well, explosively well with their explosive growth. I mean, look at this chart here and their different IPOs. For a few other growth stocks, if you were invested in any of these well-known names during their IPOs, you could have made a fortune. Check out Monster, Microsoft, or even Netflix. Something to note here, though some stocks which were growth winners before in the previous bull market may not be such winners in the next bull market. Sun Microsystems was one of those. In the 2000s, they did very well in that bull market, but in 2003, they weren't so much anymore. With the accelerated growth and the high volatility and much risk to come with growth stocks, are growth stocks for me? Growth investing is typically preached for younger investors because of such high volatility. Bigger risk, even bigger reward. Sometimes, a younger investor may be able to have a longer horizon, just in case something were to go wrong. But it all depends on risk tolerance. In the end, it may not be about dividends worth growth, but rather have a good mix of both to be diversified in that way. Growth stocks generally do better during economic booms as companies have more resources to continue their expansion of the business. In the short term, during these times, taking advantage of these favorable conditions for growth stocks may not be a bad idea. But what are some drawbacks to growth stocks? Well, an obvious drawback is that growth stocks typically do not pay dividends because these companies want to continue growing, hence the name growth stocks. They will reinvest the profits and those dividends back into the company to build new products, services, and continue expansion. Yeah, so no more paychecks from these growth stock companies. Another drawback is the only way investors can make money is by selling the stock at a higher price for what they paid for. This means when you sell it, Though you feel like a genius for getting it right, Uncle Sam will put a stop to that, and you'll have to pay some capital gain taxes. So what do we learn here? Growth stocks have their ups and downs just like any other investment vehicles. Though you may have to pay capital gain taxes when you sell them, growth stocks, the growth from one single stock can really set you up for some great gains. We compared the S&P versus dividends ETF versus the growth ETF, and we found that during these times of economic expansions and a booming economy, growth stocks tend to perform very well. Just look at Facebook versus Johnson & Johnson. The way I see it, though dividends nowadays seems to be increasingly popular, ignoring growth stocks could cause you to miss out on some massive gains. But Mike, thanks again for having me on the channel. If you guys haven't already, come on over to the channel because Mike also left a video on my channel as well. But as always guys, peace out, see you in the next video.
Once again, thanks for coming on the channel, Kevin. It's been a long time coming, and be sure to head over to his channel after this video ends. You just learned about growth stocks, and I will be talking about dividend stocks on his channel, and that video is live right now. So be sure to head over to there, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. I talk about stock market investing, passive income, and investing in yourself type videos. I'm Mike the Investor. Remember to stay inspired, stay motivated, invest in yourself, and I will see you guys back next time.